Hi, everybody. My name is Kayla Strong, and I work with the team at NLP Marin. And today I'm going to be interviewing Carla Camou, who has been a master transformational NLP practitioner for the last 30 years and also is the lead trainer for our upcoming course, ITC, or Intensive Training Core. Hi, Carla.
Hey.
Kayla. So I just have a few questions for you about ITC and the kinds of people who join ITC. So the first question is, what kinds of people are drawn to this curriculum and what kind of people does this appeal to?
Yeah, it's a large variety of people that are drawn to it. Often people who are a little bit more interested in a little bit faster pace than our regular core class, which is over 6 months. This is over 3 months, so it's a little more condensed. But pretty much anybody who is trying to improve themselves, improve their relationship with themselves, improve their skills at work, better their condition, or just curious about how humans work can get drawn to this. What we have is people who sometimes come in with one goal in mind, and then there's so much and so much rich stuff offered in the course that what they're wanting to get out of the course starts shifting as they're in the course. They start realizing there's a lot more that they can reach for, a lot more that they get. And sometimes what is important to them begins to shift a bit. So who they are in the beginning of the course, who they are at the end of the course, it's hard to classify.
Yeah,
But we do seem to get a wide variety of ages and professions and just styles in the class.
totally. Thank you. And I do have a question. What are some of the professions that you do see? I know during my cohort, we had some therapists, we had coaches, but then we're also in my cohort, there was stay-at-home moms and stuff. So what are some of the things that you usually see?
All of that. Sometimes we might have some more educators just because of the timing of the course. Yeah, entrepreneurs, computer programmer, it's a wide variety. Generally, it's people who are interacting with other people somehow in their work. So we don't tend to get many people who are completely isolated and never talk to anybody. Those people aren't usually looking for classes. Sometimes we have people who are re-entering the workforce, or some people who are trying to switch or level up their job or move over to something different. But I'd be hard pressed there isn't any particular profession. We have a very small number of people who are coaches and who are or therapists who want to add skills. That is a small percentage of the class. People worry that's the full percentage. That's nowhere close to the full percentage. But there are a few of those people in the class too.
Yeah, I found that was a really fun part to have people from all different backgrounds and all different professions. So you're like sitting and talking, but you learn a little bit as well from each other. That was my
Yeah. And there are often people that you wouldn't necessarily run into in your daily life.
Yes.
But they end up being very rich additions to your life, and you get windows into all sorts of different worlds.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so where do people start and where do they end up as a result of taking ITC? I know that's a broad question.
And where do they start personally? Where do they start professionally? Do we want to chunk that down at all?
Chunk it down. Yeah. Let's say personally first. Where do people start personally? Where they end
up? Again, that's all over the scale. There is one of the general things that I notice is that a lot of people come because they are in some kind of a transition or anticipating a transition, which is generally when we reach for more education of some kind. Where people start can be from in the middle of their entire world falling apart to being at the top of their game. Where they end up, the course, while there's a whole lot of skills, there's a lot of skill building, there's a lot of stuff that's immediately applicable in life. We have fun while we do it. It is at the core of it all it's about your relationship with yourself. And across the board, what I see with all the students is that who they are on the inside becomes more and more available to them on the outside. And so there's a becoming into alignment with themselves, not with any ideal that anybody else has set out, but with who they are on the inside begins to be more available to actually show to the world in ways that are really comfortable and safe and enjoyable for the person. So it's really hard to describe where they get to because it's such a unique thing for each person.
Yeah.
But the students, I see the change in people, and it's so much fun to watch. It's so much fun to watch people actually enjoy being themselves more. And it's like, there's no way to measure it or really explain it. And yet, like, you talk with the graduates and they all understand what I'm saying. So it's a really hard thing to get into words and to make sense of until you've experienced it.
I experienced it. Yeah. Like you said, because it's like each person, it's unique because what alignment is to them or alignment within themselves is going to be unique to each person. Thank you.
Yeah. And what's important to each person is different. And there is something really lovely about this, which is that we're not telling you what needs to be important. Mm-hmm. We are allowing each person to discover what it is that is important to them and being able for them to then reach for what's important.
Mm-hmm. And maybe some tools along the way.
Yeah. Years ago, I had a student who was a school teacher who had gotten into the profession for her love of children, for just absolutely just wired, always wanted to be a school teacher. And she took the course to get a new profession because she was so exhausted and felt so beat up and was hating teaching. And she was really just set on gotta find a new career, a new interest. She really worked hard. And about 2/3 of the way through the course, she said, you know what? She said, I love teaching. And she said, I'm just burnt out because of the way that I'm interacting with the administration. And she changed her relationship with the administration and went back to teaching very happily. She'd been absolutely sure she'd figured out exactly how she was going to leave the profession. And she didn't have to leave what she loved. And none of us could have talked her through that. It was about her relationship with herself. And as she got clear on it, she got clear on what it is she loved about teaching and what she didn't love, was able to shift things in such a way that she could have the career she wanted.
Yeah. Thank you for that example. It also sounds like it can bring a little more clarity through that discovery and that alignment with self.
Yeah. And I have to say, for me, it was that one was a super rewarding one because she was working with really disadvantaged students and she was doing really amazing stuff with them. She actually challenged me to come sit in her classroom one day, and I did. I was like thrilled to. I went and watched her. I spent 3 hours in her classroom with her, went home, took a 3-hour nap, and woke up and had the realization that she was still in the classroom with those kids. And I was like, so this is like a very good teacher who was about ready to leave, and for her to stay, and for what that meant for those kids, for her to stay, just that to me is so incredible that she was able to find this way to keep doing what she loved, that she was so good at, and making such a difference in a lot of worlds.
Yeah. And doing it in a way that felt so much better for her and actually like accessible for her.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. My last question about ITC for now, and that is someone who's thinking about taking ITC and joining, what is something that they need to know or something that you think might be useful for them?
This class will take you as deep as you want to go, but only as far as you are willing to go. And however far, like what you put into it's what you're going to get out of it. Yeah. And it's challenging, but it is really fun. The majority of the time we are laughing and enjoying how hilarious it is to be human. At the same time, learning huge amounts, but the shift that it gives you in terms of being able to experience the world in a way that is so much easier than the fighting. It's like there's a bunch of internal wars and probably a few external wars in everybody's life that just will magically melt away. And it's more than just the wars ceasing. There's an appreciation that happens that allows you to feel more supported and stronger in your world than even looks like it's available right now. And at the same time, there's a whole bunch of just like really nice skills that you get that you can apply immediately after the first day, but after the first weekend. And we do have students who come back with stories of ways that they've applied the skills that have changed their lives or the lives of someone around them, or have just made a difference in something.
Yeah.
And I have just thousands of those stories.
After all of these years, I'm sure there's so many stories to pull from. And it's like from like little stories, little moments to like really big changes as well.
Yeah. And those are the ones that I get to hear about. And I know there are more that students don't always share, don't always even recognize that they're different.
Yeah.
But people around them might notice.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much, Carla. I'll see you in our next interview where we're going to go into some more detail. If you like this video and you want to learn more about how you can join ITC or really just talk to someone to see if it's right for you, you can email us at info@nlpmarin.com. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla.